opened my eyes in my mask in the darkness with my flashlight, and I saw, like right in front of me, this huge eyeball.
Joe Rogan just announced NASA's terrifying underwater discovery. Are we alone in the universe? What if we told you that NASA just made a terrifying discovery underwater? That it was just announced by Joe Rogan himself. You have no idea what they uncovered down there. This revelation will make you question all you know, so prepare your mind for a mind-blowing adventure into the unknown. Tune in to find out what NASA has been hiding from us all these years. Discovery star Dirty Water Don and his team have made history by being the first people to dive into the East River in New York City in quest of tusks from woolly mammoths after discovering the location of 500,000 tusks that were purportedly dropped into the river in the 1940s. Mammoth bone expert John Reeves sparked a bone rush in the Big Apple, given that he and his pals had discovered a wide variety of ancient artifacts and even human bodies at the bottom of the East River. Don Gann, 35, who starred in the debut episode of Discovery's Sewer Diving, stated that he was not astonished by the revelation. Although he is enthusiastic about the possibility of finding mammoth tusks, which can sell up to $20,000 each, he cautioned that the search might soon become out of control as more and more people show to survey the waterways. Gann made the following proclamation: "I believe someone will find something soon, and it'll raise a ruckus and draw a bunch of people down here." Gann's prediction was correct. It's going to escalate from there, and it's going to end when someone gets killed or injured. It's going to end when someone gets murdered or injured. And at that point, officials are going to be forced to shut down the whole operation. Gann, who lives in New Jersey, ventured into the East River on Wednesday with his brother John and two of his co-workers, Stephen Cortez and John Santiago. Gann is headquartered in New Jersey. He made the observation that they were the only divers in the area because everyone else was doing their own investigation using boats and underwater cameras. Gann, who has 9 years of experience in diving, mentioned that he frequently finds stuff in the East River. Some of these things include cannonballs, copper, and quartz. While diving in the area, he claims to have discovered the bodies of 3 people, whereas Cortez discovered 8. He responded, "Today we found a complete truck down there, which is what I took to mean. The phrase, 'you really find all kinds of stuff down there,' comes to mind." In spite of the fact that he believed the hunt for tusks would be a fascinating experience, he cautioned inexperienced hunters that the journey might turn out to be more difficult than they had anticipated if they were not adequately prepared. Gann stated that his ship was well equipped to ensure that his team will be able to remain safe and warm while surveying the bottom of the East River. Considering that they were all experienced divers, this was not a concern. He issued the following caution: "I wouldn't recommend this to just anyone, most especially diving using only scuba equipment. You require suitable equipment." He went on to say that the competition was on to see who would find the tusks that were said to be in the river first, and he predicted that if his crew was successful, Gann would get even more notoriety as a result. The first episode of Sewer Divers, which premiered on Sunday and follows the lives of people who explore centuries-old sewer systems around the country, centered on him. The show follows a film team as they follow the lives of people who investigate these systems. Gann uses social media to promote the persona of Dirty Water Don, expressed his delight at the opportunity to talk about his hobby with people from all over the world. He claims that he has dove into manholes in each of the 5 boroughs, and in the promotional video for the new series, he warns that the job may be thrilling but also dangerous. He stated, "A lot of people in this profession won't stay for long because they're claustrophobic. The manhole is little and the ladders are in disrepair or broken down there. You won't be able to gain a decent footing or move about because there's typically a current or the area is quite slick. You put a lot of faith in your players up top. There are quite a few perils to be found: electrical shock, as well as a variety of illnesses associated to diving. You could lose a limb, he continued. You run the risk of losing your life. There are a lot of people waiting around in boats and along the riverbanks with underwater camera drones for a chance to find the mammoth tusks, despite the fact that the waters can be quite hazardous. Austin Voles, 26, who owns a renovation firm just north of Atlanta, went out to the river on New Year's Eve only, a day after the Joe Rogan podcast episode, with his interview with Reeves was released. Voles went out to the river just a day after the podcast episode was released. Voles stated that he traveled to New York with the co-owner of his company, Josh Leonard, as well as their mutual friend, Turner Kilpatrick. The trip took approximately 12 hours. Once they'd arrived at their destination, they launched their duck boat and sent underwater cameras to search for the tusks. Despite the fact that the search turned up nothing, Voles claimed that he and his crew will try again over the weekend using a larger boat and the appropriate diving equipment in an attempt to find the ancient treasure. There is a lot of buzz right now and a competition to see who will locate the tusks first, said Voles. It's a race to see who will find the tusks first. Whoever finds it first will get all the credit, and everyone wants to be that guy. Voles, on the other hand, concurred with Gann's caution that inexperienced swimmers should exercise extreme caution in the East River because of the extremely low temperatures and strong currents there. John Reeves, a former gold miner who is now a bone mogul, recently appeared on the podcast hosted by Joe Rogan. He stated that he wanted to start a bone rush and that he had mapped out the location of 50 tons of mammoth tusks that may be at the bottom of the East River. Reeves read from a draft report that had been prepared by the Fairbanks Mine District in Alaska. The study described in great detail the shipment of 500,000 tusks from Fairbanks to the American Museum of Natural History in New York City in the year 1940. According to Reeves, who owns thousands of acres of mining grounds in the area and obtained a copy of the report from the company he bought and spoke to the lead author of the study, Richard Osborne, of the University of Alaska, the museum ran out of storage and dumped the bones. Reeves also bought the company that produced the study. According to the report, the dumping ground can be found at the intersection of East River Drive and 65th Street. Tusks from woolly mammoths can fetch anywhere from $18,000 to $20,000, depending on the state in which they are found. This places the potential worth at the bottom of the river at approximately $1 billion. Reeves outlined the area and remarked, "If any of you guys want to go out and find some bones, I'll tell you precisely where they're at." He was referring to the precise position of the skeletal remains. Whoever finds it gets to keep it. Reeves stated, with reference to the draft report, that gold miners sent 500,000 tusks to New York because the owners of the tusks believed they had no value. Reeves advised Rogan, "You had to understand this was in 1928 to 1958, and he said, people like miners don't collect the bones," the speaker said. The report about the tusks states that there were mistakes made regarding the acceptable condition of the bones that were delivered to New York. According to Reeves, he said they took nearly a complete box carload of these bones, and when they ran out of storage, they dropped them in the East River. In the end, the tusks were discarded in the river in the location that had previously served as a dumping ground for the New York City hospital. That's all for the video today. We'll be right back with more. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.